Good morning, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. This is Rich again, back for your first video blog of the day for Tuesday, January 12th, 2016, around 6:57 in the morning in Billerica, Massachusetts. It's going to start off sunny, but later on in the day, it's going to cloud over, and maybe some rain showers turning to snow squalls later on, according to as much as 3 inches in Massachusetts. Up in New Hampshire, it's going to be more, and Maine could have a major winter storm. Winter storm warnings up for most of Maine. Some news to report. The New York Rangers beat the Boston Bruins by a score of 2-1. The Bruins aren't doing good. The Florida Panthers finally lost a game, but they lost in overtime, but they get a point. So that's a good sign. The Golden State Warriors are now 36-2, and the Alabama Crimson Tide beat the Clemson Tigers by a score of 45-40 to win the National College Football Championship. And 47 years ago today, Joe Namath guaranteed New York Jets would beat the Baltimore Colts, and they did 16-7 in one of the biggest Super Bowl upsets of all time. Super Bowl III, Joe Namath was MVP, but Joe Namath is infamous for saying, "Oh, I kiss you," to Susie Colbert in 2003 during Sunday Night Football. He was totally drunk at that time. And that's about it on the news. My first video blog subject of the day is about the Jerry Springer Show. The Jerry Springer Show has been on the air since 1991. It's one of the most popular TV talk shows of all time. It's shock TV. Usually the guest on Jerry Springer fight among each other. The Jerry Springer Show started in September of 1991. It was only shown in a few stations. The first year it was taped in Cincinnati, Ohio. Jerry Springer was a commentator on a Cincinnati television station. He was once mayor of Cincinnati for a few years. He was infamous for omitting to pay money to a hooker while he was in office. And the first year of the Jerry Springer Show, it was basically a talk show of politics and stuff. It was a format similar to the Phil Donahue Show, and they talked about a lot of politics and a lot of issues and stuff. The next year, the show was bought by NBC Universal, and they moved production from Cincinnati to Chicago on the NBC station WMAQ TV5, the studios there, and it followed a similar format of Donahue, but it got clearance nationwide. The first year was on select television markets, but it got cleared for syndication nationwide, and it was struggling for the 2 years and so until the producer says, you better get ratings or you're going to be canceled. And then they started to do provocative topics like, "Honey, I am a man," or like stuff like, "Why won't you marry me?" Or like a lot of racist stuff and a lot of disgusting stuff, and like gossip and throwing people under the bus. And this got ratings big time. It soon, like the Jerry Springer Show, got ratings that went through the roof, and usually the guests were fighting among each other, and they had to have security guards. The most known security guards were Todd Schultz and Steve Wilkos. And eventually Steve Wilkos had his own talk show. We'll talk about that in a future video blog. And then when they were fighting and stuff, and they were saying, "Jerry, Jerry, 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 Jerry," and he was, he had to be like controlling the action and stuff. And many television stations did not want to see the fighting at all. Some of them, they moved them to the overnight hours, or some of them, they just took the show off the air in that market, but another television station picked up the market and stuff. And they also have had more and more provocative topics like transsexuals, or there was one that had like a man cutting off his penis because he was being followed by a stalker. And there was one Jerry Springer show that it refused to air. Television stations refused to air it. It was I Married a Horse. Very, very. That would have been, if they showed it on the air, I bet the FCC would have shut down the television stations because that was so disgusting and stuff. But these episodes got continuing ratings, and eventually Jerry Springer's ratings surpassed Oprah for a few months. That was unbelievable. Jerry Springer was on demand, talk show. He was talk show king. He was getting so many endorsement deals. They even made a movie about Jerry Springer. Books. Unbelievable. He hosted like Spring Break for MTV and other shows. And they had like pay-per-views and videos and DVDs of Springer too hot for television and stuff. But the Chicago City Council did not like having the guest fight on the Jerry Springer show. They said they threatened to arrest anybody who was fighting on the show because that promoted violence, and they don't want the City Council of Chicago did not want violence at all because they don't want the kids to see this, and they start fighting and stuff. And a lot of people were saying to the New York Post in the late 90s, early 2000s, that the Jerry Springer show was fake and it was actors and actresses doing it, and it was. And eventually Jerry Springer's ratings cooled down and stuff, but it was still profitable. They once in a while would have an episode devoted to like Steve Wilkos, when Steve would rescue people and stuff in sticky situations and stuff. A typical format of the Jerry Springer show is like this. Jerry comes out and everybody's saying Jerry, 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 and they have the security guards come out and says, my guest today like in certain situations, and then they have the first guest, and then they have another guest come on, and they just start arguing and stuff, and the security guards come up, and they repeat this cycle for about 2 to 4 times, and then they have a Q&A segment. Some of them are questions that are serious, some of them are not so serious, and if they have the ladies there, they could show their, a breast flash, and they have to censor it though because it's on regular television. It's not on HBO, and they got Jerry beads, which are mighty God beads. And then Jerry has a final thought, and he says, until next time, take care of yourself and each other. And Jerry Springer's probably made hundreds and hundreds of $millions on the Jerry Springer show and stuff. He's the co-executive producer with Richard Dominic and stuff. And I've watched it from time to time, and it's okay, but it gets repetitive after a while and stuff. And I have had a few DVDs and VHS tapes of the Jerry Springer show, Too Hot for Television, which was pretty decent and stuff. And the Jerry Springer show is on weekdays. They run it 2 times, one at 11 a.m. and one at 2 p.m. on CW 56. And that's about it on the Jerry Springer show. And soon I'll be doing a video blog on the Steve Wilkos show. And I'll be back a little bit later on this morning with the second video blog, One Stop Market, and then the Beverly Brothers, the former tag team, also known as Instruction Crew in the AWA. And the fourth and final video blog of the night will be about former NHL goaltender and longtime color man for New Jersey Devils broadcast on the MSG network, Glenn Chico Reach. Keep calm, everybody! I'm a Julie Broughton guy. Julie Broughton's News 6, Orlando, Florida. Julie rocks, and she has nice legs. Elizabeth Hutt is so stunning, and she's got nice legs as well. Molly Rosenblatt rocks. Amy Swenzi's the best. And in the words of Deep Patel, last week, no bus. Don't forget Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. If you have any plugs or shoutouts, private message me. See you later.